What's going on, everybody? Today is March 25th, and it is my wife's birthday. So, happy birthday, honey. This video is dedicated to my wife. I did a video last year on husbands, how to treat your wives, what the Bible says about how we're supposed to be as husbands. And let me clarify ahead of time, I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm far from it. Our marriage is not perfect, far from it. But um, I learned. I'm learning every day is an adventure. Every day is a new. I learn something new, and I'm gonna share 10 verses or 10 things, 10 ways of how we can honor our spouses and our wives as husbands. Right? The Bible has a lot to say on it. Okay, the Bible has a lot to say on it. Okay, so let's go. Number one, Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Yes, I've shared this verse before. I love Ephesians 5. Chapter 5 speaks clearly of how a marriage and a family is structured. But this verse itself is explains it in a nutshell. We are to love our wives just as Christ loved the church and give ourselves up. We need to be. Are you ready to die for your wife? If you're not, something's wrong. There's a disconnect there. Um, another Number two, Ephesians 4:2 says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." We How can we be patient with the outside world if we're not patient with our spouses? Um, and I sometimes need to catch myself. Yes, uh, but this is very very important. And oh, but she's not patient with me. Well, it starts with you. You are the head of the household. It starts with you. We as men need to be the example for our spouses. We need to be gentle with our spouses. We need to be patient with our wives. It starts at home. It starts with the marriage, and then it trickles out to our kids, and then we can start working on the outside. Matthew 19:6 says, "So there are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate." Let no one separate. No one should be coming between you and your spouse. Not your mom, not your in-laws, not your dad, not your brother, sister, friends. Nobody and nothing should be coming in between you and your spouse. If something's become is trying to come in between you two, you need to either first of all, you need to put your foot down. And if that's not working, you might have to distance yourself from those people, including family. Your number one ministry is spouse. Your number one, the most important relationship aside from God is your spouse. You know, men are to protect their marriage, especially from outsiders. This includes friends, family, etc. Number four, Ecclesiastes 9:9a. Enjoy life with your wife, whom you love all the days of this meaningless life that God has given you under the sun. Life is meaningless without God, and it's meaningless without your wife. If you're married and to me, life without my wife around means it sucks. I don't like being away from my wife. I love spending time with my wife. She's my best friend. I hate being away from her. And lucky for me, she feels the same way. I don't get some of these couples who can take vacations away from their spouses. I don't get that. I We know people that they go to other countries, um, and they go to another country without their spouse, and then when they come back, their spouse goes on vacation without. I do not understand that. I don't like being away from my wife. When I go to work, I come home. I love spending time with my wife. That's just me. But no, that's not just me. My wife feels the same way. So I guess, you know, and again, we're not perfect, but we love spending time together. We do. First Peter 4:8 says, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. People are always asking us all the time how we've lasted 24 years. What's the well? Cool, we're going to turn 24 years of marriage in June. What's the secret? And no, and there's no magic. There's no special sauce. There's no potion. It's never giving up on each other and everlasting forgiveness. There's always forgiveness. Forgiveness comes from loving each other. Love covers sin. Love and forgiveness. We forgive each other for each other's sins and for hurting each other, because we do hurt. We have hurt each other. We have in the past. We're not perfect. We're human. And if you think that you're gonna find somebody, oh, they're never gonna hurt me, that's impossible because they're human. You need to be quick to forgive. Okay. 1 Corinthians 13:4-5. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. And here, keep no record of wrongs. Once again, forgiveness. All right. Uh it doesn't mean forgive and forget. It means forgive, and when I'm not gonna throw it in your face every time we come into an argument, I'm gonna throw it in your face what you did to me 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, whatever. As a matter of fact, these two verses 4-5 happens to be our marital vows when we got married. Um, patient, kindness, not being proud. These are another example of forgiveness, like I said earlier, and being quick to admit when you're wrong. Uh, Men, we need to sample this for our wives and for our kids. We tend to be proud. We need to be very prideful. Men, that's one of my sins. I am I'm very prideful. I come from a very proud family. My family is full of pride, and that's one of my downfalls. It's one of my sins, and I try to admit when I'm wrong, and that's something we need to sample as men for our spouses, for our wives, and for our kids. Okay, uh, it does not dishonor when she asks you to do something. Honor it. Do not dishonor it. If she asks you to do something, honor it. If something makes her uncomfortable, even if you disagree with it, honor it. She's your number one ministry. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. I've said it since I started doing these videos. I'll keep saying it. Our marriage is our number one ministry. As men, this is our number one ministry. If she's asking you if something, hey, I see you doing something and makes me uncomfortable, whether it's a relationship that you have with a friend or something and it doesn't make you comfortable, hey, time to cut ties. I'm sorry. Time to cut ties. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is. If it makes her feel uncomfortable, something's up. You're probably doing something or showing something that's not right. All right, and women have the sixth sense. It's a sixth, it's a sixth sense, and they sense when something's not right, and we need to trust them. All right, Hebrews 13:4 says, "Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage kept pure. For God will judge the adulterer and all the sexual immoral." I know it talks about sex here in the verse. However, we need to go a bit deeper. Man, be very careful not to talk negatively about your spouse to another woman. If you're in a small group and you're in a men's group and you're having issues with your spouse, that's one thing, and you're trying to seek advice and hey guys, what do I do? That's it, in a men's Bible group. But do not, even at church, do not share your intimate issues with another woman. Men should not be doing that. You are only to talk about your marriage to other men and Christian men. I get it. If you have a brother, a blood brother, he's not a Christian, you shouldn't be going to him. I'm sorry. Why? The first thing he's gonna tell you is, "Hey, let's go have a drink. Let's go to a nude bar. Let's go clubbing. Let's go find a couple of chicks." That's not the answer to the problem. That's adding to the problem. That's gonna definitely lead to divorce. All right. First Corinthians 16:14 says, "Do everything in love." If you're doing something, if you're going to do something for your wife, do it with a smile. She asks you for water. She asks you for coffee. She asks you, go run an errand for me. Okay? Do it with a smile. As a matter of fact, be a step ahead. Be a step ahead. Try and be a step ahead. I know my wife likes water by the bedside every single night. She does. You know, and so I try to make sure I have water by the bedside. Why? I want to be proactive with her. I want to make sure, I want her to know that I love her, that I care, that her interest is above mine. All right. So everything you do, make sure you do it with a smile. It is so, so, so important. We're down to the last two. First Peter 3:8. Finally, all of you live in harmony with one another. Be sympathetic, be compassionate, and humble. Women might tend to get emotional. Hey, listen, I'm a guy, I'm an emotional person. So women are very emotional, and they have their ups and downs. It's not all about you. I used to think that. At the beginning of our marriage, I thought if she would have a bad day, I thought it was about me. Made it about me. It's not always about me. You're not always the issue. It doesn't have to be about you. She doesn't want you to always fix it. She might just want you to be there. Just hold her. You know, we all have bad days. This includes our wives. Be understanding. Just be there for her. And it's not all about you. And like I said, and I wrote this down. That's why I'm repeating this. I had a huge issue with this at the beginning of our marriage. It took me a long time to figure out, hey, I might not be the problem. It just might be that she's just having a bad day. She's the wrong side of the bed. And it's okay. We all have those days. We're all entitled to those days. Okay? Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If one falls, the other one can help the other out. The two of you, the two of you are should be, and need to be each other's biggest supporters. You guys need to be each other's biggest fans. Encourage one another, especially men. Be there for your wives. Encourage her. Thank her. Thank her for a good meal. Thank her for being a good, great mother. Thank her for taking care of the house. Thank her for taking care of the kids. Thank her for being such a great wife, even if she's not. Even if she's not, she might be needing that from me. She might be needing to hear those words, some encouraging words. You know, thank God for me that I do have a great wife. My wife is amazing. I love her to death. She's my best friend. She's my number one supporter, my number one fan, and I'm hers. I'm her number one fan. Like I said, she's my best friend. She's my everything. She's the love of my life. This video is dedicated to her on her birthday. God bless you guys. And I hope this video is encouraging. Guys, if I can pray for you in any way, please, uh, I'm here for you. DM me and make sure you like, share, and subscribe.